to watch that. So I'm going to be handing it over to Carl very shortly to talk to us about navigating fitness coaching today, because what we do does look a little bit different than it did a week ago, and we need to be able to adapt to that. What I would absolutely love you all to be able to do is please share that these conversations are happening with any coaches that you know. Send them the registration link, pop it on social and tag OPEX Fitness. We want to be able to help and send this information out to as many people as possible. And we will be having some really cool guest speakers coming on over the following days. So please do that. Again, one more reminder before I hand it over to Carl, make sure you're set to all panelists and attendees. So Carl, I will hand it to you.
Thanks, Georgia. Yeah, guys, if you weren't on yesterday, James laid some groundwork for us. And James hit on navigating, or sorry, I'm going to hit on navigating fitness coaching today, Jim and I. And James hit on kind of the state of coaching overall, right? Like who we want to be inside of our communities and all of that. So if you guys didn't get a chance to check out James's chat, very beneficial, and that kind of lays the groundwork of each day moving forward here. So today we're going to talk about navigating fitness coaching. And we're going to get into different models. We're going to talk about very tactical things that we can do during this time. We can't avoid the situation that we're all going through, right? You can see that Georgia, Jim, and I are, at home right now recording this thing. So, I know most of you guys are in the same boat, and you don't have access to gyms. And some of us still have clients, and we have to give our clients what they need still. So we're going to hit that tactical stuff, but just wanted to kind of start this out by saying a continuation of what we talked about yesterday, where, giving our clients a continued great service is still number one. And that a great service, quote unquote, may be different today than it was a week ago, right? Because a great service a week ago could have been based more around, what they were doing inside of your gym. Like James mentioned yesterday, what their daily routine and rhythm was, because that daily routine and rhythm is now interrupted. Right. So James talked about clients being used to walking into the gym at 1:00 p.m. every day, and that was their thing. Right. Now we have to have conversations with those clients, and we have to adjust fire with those clients. And what worked for them a week ago may not work for them today. So that's why it's called navigating, right? We have to navigate this thing together. And, when we get to the point of the conversation, when we're talking about we are all in this thing together. Like we're not, as coaches, we're not like sitting on our thrones, not affected by everything that's going on around us, because we are. So I just wanted to kind of kick it off there. Jim, do you have anything to add?
Nope, not to begin. I don't think so. I think you should just get rocking and rolling now. I'm going to survey the chat box until we're kind of in the middle of this thing.
Cool. Yeah, so the first thing that we want to look at is what model are we coaching in, right? Because, there's going to be, positives and negatives of each of these models, but where we were at a week ago is very prevalent. And we talked about it yesterday on the call, but we have to do what we are good at doing or what we know, right? So are we in-person individual design? Are we remote coaching individual design, group, small group, personal training, or are we in an other model? Right. So we have to look at the positives and the negatives of each of these models and how we can navigate this thing. We're a little bit biased on our side, we'll admit, right? Like we're in-person individual design or individual design as a whole. And we're noticing that our gyms around the world they're still being impacted, right? So I don't want to put like a bow on this thing and say that, if you're doing individual design, you're fine because you've built great relationships, so on and so forth. But that piece does help, right? Our clients in the individual design model are used to consulting with their coaches on a monthly basis, right? So the consult is in some cases more important than the actual program design right now, right? There's some clients that could give two shits about exercise right now, but as their fitness coaches, we need to still keep that in their daily routine and daily rhythm, but it just may look different. Right? Fitness for some of our clients right now may be taking a walk around the block with their stroller because their kids are home from daycare and they're home at work.
Carl, really quickly, Carl, I was listening to the Precision Nutrition, the panel call that they did today, and the CEO of Trainerize was on, and he said that the number of programs that are being put into Trainerize, which is similar to True Coach in some respects, has gone from, let's just call it 75% fitness program and 25% habits, behaviors, etc., to the flip opposite. So it's gone 75% habit, behavior, etc., 25%. Now, obviously, for expected reasons, right? People are going to do less training, but it's interesting to see just how quickly coaches are moving into habits and lifestyle. Number one, because they have to, but two, because that's what their clients are reacting to.
Yep, definitely. Yeah, and on the remote side as well, guys, if we're in that model and that's what we're doing, we are not unaffected, right? Because if we're sitting home and we're behind our computers on True Coach and designing training programs and having monthly consultations, we can still do that, right? But our clients now don't have a gym to go to, right? I know that some of us in the remote world, we have clients that have garage gyms and home gyms and so on and so forth, or we have clients that still have access to their gym. But when I look at the individual design model, in person or remote, those things are they face the same challenges, right? Where it's like, what are the positives? There's probably a better relationship built with that client. And there's other things that are discussed outside of just exercise, right? We still have behavior pieces that we can hit on a daily basis with our clients. We still have nutrition pieces that we can hit on a daily basis with our clients. It's the exercise that's really affected. And I think that right now the answer is not trying to navigate that by trying to give everyone, at home workout templates, right? I think that's beneficial for people that need to move, but not all of our clients are so concerned about not being able to lift the barbell anymore, right? If we take a 360-degree approach with this whole coaching thing, we have to understand that exercise is only one part of the puzzle, right? So we can't forget about the behavior stuff. We can't forget about the nutrition stuff. And we may even have to lean a little bit harder into those things so we can look at the positives that, this situation may cause, right? So we have clients and we've been so focused on, adaptation and linear progression and all that shit. And it's like, oh man, there's not a lot of adaptation and linear progression happening with air squats and push-ups for some of our clients. So maybe let's take a step back, still have them move blood on a daily basis, still give them a really good training program or exercise program that they can knock out in 15 or 30 minutes, and put all of our other efforts into behavior and nutrition with those clients. Even if we have clients that compete in fitness, right? Like, what's the undertone right now? Health and wellness is still important, right? Health and wellness is still important. Now navigating into group and small group, like there's obvious challenges there, right? And it's like, some of the fixes are very short term, right? Because what do we do with our clients that are used to coming in, doing the same training program with 10 or 15 people with a coach leading that, right? I don't have a great answer as to what the solution there is, and we don't know how long this thing is going to last. So what I would really focus on no matter what model I'm in, is taking care of my clients today, taking care of my clients that are already with me. Acquisition is not a focus right now. I don't care what model you're in, you're not acquiring a shit ton of clients on the coaching side. You're just not doing it. So take care of the clients that are on your roster today, right? And I don't want to offer, bucket solutions for each of these things, but if we go from top down, we're seeing a lot of really good things in the in-person ID model where, our gyms are Melissa Guitron at OPEX Cura, OPEX Riverdale, OPEX Regina, I believe, started doing this today, where they're actually renting out equipment to their clients. OPEX North Scottsdale started doing this as well. It's like, hey, we understand that we have to do this social distancing thing, and some of these cities and states are actually quarantining where they can't leave. It's like, come over to the gym. I'm going to rent out X amount of equipment. I'm going to design a training program based off of what your equipment list is in True Coach based on what you rented out, right? So that's a really good thing that we're seeing around the world. in the in-person ID model. And the
Carl,
group,
can I?
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, similar to this, you touched on it, but I wanted to bluntly make the point. Carl is saying that it's more challenging in group to take them online because that's not what they signed up for. So if you're going to take them out of the model that they're used to, I truly get it. Like, they will probably accept that for a little bit, but it's not what they originally wanted to do. So the length of time that they'll be willing to do that is most likely going to be less. So you have to just think through that, because they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But if you don't build the relationship side of it, if you don't expect that they're going to get a little bit antsy, if you don't do things like virtually getting people together, and trying to do, meet up with the group or whatever, it will be more challenging for them to stay on. And so it's just a trade-off, right? It's because they signed up for a different type of a service.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to continue to mention this. It's stick with what you know, right? So if you are running a group model and you know how to give someone a really good exercise program, a really good nutrition program, or a really good behavior program, maybe start to lean into that, right? Like I've talked to a couple, one in particular, group gym owner that actually did that. They kept everyone at their same rates, and they offered individual design remotely for those clients, with the expectation of them coming back together and going back into their group model because that's what they want to do, right? So looking at the opportunities here, this isn't an opportunity, going back to the acquisition piece, this isn't an opportunity to start a remote coaching business and acquire a bunch of clients, right? Like, this isn't the time for that. And I know that the whole world is trying to figure out how to coach people remotely right now. And us that are in that remote game, and we're dealing with this with big dogs as well, us that are in that remote game, we're talking to our coaches and to our clients on how do we better deliver our remote service now that they don't have access to facilities, right? So stick with what you know and serve your clients with that information. A challenging thing is, sorry, Jim, I know you want to jump in here, but a challenging
No, go.
If we're in the personal training world, right, and we don't have memberships, right, and we get paid based on a client coming to our gym or the gym that we're renting out, we're doing a 1-to-1 30 to 60 minute session, and we're getting paid after that session. It's like, how do you fix that? How do you do that? Right? It's like, there's I've heard, numerous stories over the past week of personal trainers now going to Zoom, going online and trying to train their clients or training their clients that way. But it's all the same stuff, right? It's like, we're going back, we're designing a training program. Now all that those PTs are doing, because what their client signed up for was a one-to-one experience every time that they exercise. So they're just adjusting fire, and they're doing that digitally.
I was going to hit on the piece of, it is very difficult to acquire clients right now. I fully agree with Carl on that. The biggest reason it's difficult is because people don't have top of mind wanting to go out and spend new money on a service that they don't really understand. Now, if you are going to go out and get clients, guys, and I think that everybody who's staying in the coaching game should be trying to do this, you need to start as close to you as you can, meaning friends, family, close colleagues, anybody that you've got a much better chance of. So if you have a service offering that you are confident in, whether that's through Zoom plus True Coach or whatever the service looks like specifically, you need to start very, very close to you, and you need to recognize that you might have to ask 100 people to get 2 clients right now. But 2 is better than 0.
Just to add to that quickly, Jim, something that I've seen happen just within the OPEX North Scottsdale community is a number of current clients having friends or family who do, exercise outside of the OPEX gyms model, who are left in a position where they don't have any ongoing support from whatever type of fitness they were doing before. their group class or their personal trainer isn't able to adapt, and they're actually coming into the OPEX North Scottsdale bubble now, either to borrow equipment, to have a conversation with a coach, come into the space when their gym was closed. And so looking to the people that are friends or family of your current clients could be a good place to start too.
Yep. In to out right now is the principle. The closer to you, the better to start. Slowly move out. And one of the things that we've said a lot lately internally is that the new people coming in, guys, will very likely be referral based or within your, let's call it, one standard deviation network. So the idea of going out and creating a bunch of Facebook ads right now to get new people in the door, I don't think that's going to be successful. I'm highly intrigued by building your local email list right now because people are all over their cell phones watching social media. You know, so if you can get some emails, that's a beautiful thing. But selling right now to brand new people, probably not going to happen very easily and would probably be pretty costly.
So guys, maybe we could clear up, I think T. Drew just popped a comment here, don't enter the remote world, but enter the remote world. Do you guys want to clarify maybe a little bit about your stance on not diving headfirst into starting your remote business, but adapting what you currently do?
Yeah, I'll start there if you guys don't mind. Yeah, Drew, what we're saying, sorry, I think Drew may be your last name, but I'll call you Drew because that's what I see. But what we're saying is our only option right now for quarantined coaches or coaches that their gyms are shut down or whatever the case may be, is that we still have clients and we have to serve those clients somehow, right? So right now, when we're saying don't start a remote business, we're saying don't see this, and some of you may see this as a great opportunity to get that started or get that going. What we're saying is acquisition isn't up here right now. If you have a book of clients, how are you going to take care of your clients? Right now, because we're not face to face, that has to happen remotely. Even those of us that are running individual design in-person businesses, our businesses just automatically got sent over to the remote world because that's all we have for right now. So this is a bunch of patching and band-aiding right now to ensure that we're taking care of our clients. I don't know if Jim or James, if you guys have anything to add to that.
The only thing I would say is that you need to think about what your clients are thinking about or prospective clients, and that's just going to solidify what Carl just said, right? Like they don't know this new service, and so they're not thinking about this first and foremost. Your business needs to shift, and so that's why we're saying it has to shift online, but that should be to your existing client base. New clients are very difficult. Start in to out, meaning start with who you know and work slowly out from there while you're servicing your clients extremely elegantly.
Yeah, I think the principles, Jim, are that, you know, it's not time right now to build a new business. That's what everyone should hear, right? And I think it sounds like it's a great idea because we have to have this strategy to fix things, but it's you just can't. I don't know. We don't know any other way to say it. So you have to work with what you have, but you have to be agile with what you have. And that will change going forward. To Jim's example, in to out, and Carl's example, it's the same thing. It's just in a different environment. But nowhere in there are we saying, oh yeah, upgrade your business and now go completely online as a whole new service. That's not what we're saying. And at this point in time, we are pretty much saying it's impossible. So you're going to have to strategize to transition over and do the best that you can in that environment. I think that's the principles that I'm pulling from it anyways.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's opportunity in any situation, right? But we're not looking at this as an opportunity, right? We're looking at this as an opportunity to better serve your clients, not as an opportunity to grow your business, right? Or to take advantage of your clients or the general population. So yeah, I'll leave it there. But yeah, we don't see this as an opportunity to explode your business. This is an opportunity to take care of people. And when we look at this on the tactical side and what we can do to take care of our people, let's just wrap our brains around what we're really good at, right? Like, and you have to think about that as a coach, right? Are you offering consultations to your clients? Do some of your clients need more than one monthly consultation while we're going through this if your service offering is only one? Are you asking your clients how they feel? Are they okay? Don't get so attached to the plan a week ago was we do this on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday. And now this happens and you're still attached to that plan where it's like, oh, we still have to push, what the narrative was a week ago, right? We have to understand where our clients are because there's a lot of fear out there. There's a lot of fear for people's health, people's wellness. There's a lot of fear economically out there because there's so many unknowns. And that's not just us, right? That's not just us. And if you look at the slide that's up right now, it's like, we have to understand that our clients aren't on an island and on this thing all by themselves. And we're not either, right? We're all in this thing together. Just as if a client is worried about losing their job or they feel a lack of security in their job, we feel that as well as coaches, right? And that's why we're talking about this today, because we want to come together. And I want to use the last 30 minutes of this for you guys to ask really good questions, but it's what can we do to up our game? What can we do to put us in a better place when we come out of this? What can we do to continue to build trust with not only our clients, but our communities? Right. So I want us to ask ourselves those questions and not be so short-sighted and think about how can I take advantage of this opportunity that's in front of me? So when we start talking about being empathetic, when we're on a consultation or we're just in face or on Zoom talking to one of our clients and they're scared, it's okay to be like, yeah, I'm a little scared as well. I don't know where this thing is going to go, right? I'm with you, right? Like we're not on our coaches' thrones, right? Like that's just not reality. Right. So we have to meet our clients exactly where they are, right? Those conversations, each one of our conversations with our clients should be completely different. We shouldn't have a bucketed message that goes out and we tell all of our clients that this thing is going to be okay, because we don't know if it's going to be okay, right? Like we're in this together. We're like, hey, we're going to navigate this thing together, and I'm still going to be your rock as a coach, right? If we have clients that lean on us to be that for them. Anything to add, Jim or Jim?
Nope.
Cool. Georgia, do you have anything to add to that?
Nothing to add there. No, Carl. I think that's great. I mean, it would be cool because I'm sure there are some coaches on the call who've never run a consultation before, never even gone about scheduling them with clients, especially remotely, maybe don't know the best platform to be able to do that off. Could you hit on a couple of specifics around that?
Yeah, can you ask that one more time? Platform?
Yeah, just the actual logistics of running a consultation from afar. Should they be face-to-face? Should they be talking just through the phone? What's the best practice around that?
Yeah, just the way that we're doing this call today is what we would recommend. For coaches on this call that are in CCP, what we want to get at inside of our consultations. And it's on the screen right now, right? We want to check on behavior, exercise, and nutrition, where our clients are there, where they need our support, and where we see an opportunity to come in and, let's call it, pick the lowest hanging fruit with our clients, right? I say that, but I know that all of us that have been inside of a consultation, the client leads that consultation, right? Like whatever the client needs in that conversation, that's where the consult goes. So, I laid out 3 points. We may only hit on behavior stuff in a 30-minute conversation with someone. that's really concerned about losing their job, and they're really concerned about, their grandmother's health and wellness, right? Like little things like that. It may be more on the behavior side and just having a real conversation with someone. So logistically, Georgia, I would just say do it exactly the way that we're doing it now on Zoom, because there's a power to seeing someone's face when you talk to them. If you don't have that opportunity, by all means, jump on WhatsApp or jump on your cell phone. But yeah, we recommend going Zoom face to face.
Thanks, Carl.
Yep. Yeah, guys. So only have a few minutes left before Q&A, but I just wanted to roll through this next piece, and we have to understand what our clients' priorities are today, right? Are those priorities on the behavior side, exercise, nutrition side, or other? And that's kind of the other there is like, are our clients, do they just need an ear, right? Do our clients just need someone to talk to? And just rolling through these pieces, it's like when we look at the behavioral needs, right now, the most important thing for a lot of people is just to recreate rhythm, because rhythm is being interrupted. Even for me, rhythm is interrupted right now. I'm sitting at home with 2 kids. So my rhythm just naturally has to change, right? So help our clients identify what their daily calendar is going to be. Find some normal in their days, right? They may need some help with that. Take this as an opportunity to build healthy habits with our clients, right? We have a client that, has issues eating out 3 or 4 times a week, right? It's like, okay, we're at home now. So this is what we're going to RX you on the behavior side. I want you to cook X amount of meals per day. I want you to have those meals sitting down with your family. Little pieces like that can go a long way. Being available for your clients and not afraid to check in with them. So if anyone coaches clients right now, clients seem extremely needy, because there's a lot of things that are changing on a day-to-day basis in your clients' lives. I have access to a gym. I don't have access to the gym. I'm going to work. I'm not going to work. School's on. Just kidding. School's off, right? So we have to be chameleons during this time, and we have to be available. That being said, we also have to set expectations, right? So set expectations with all of your clients. Usually I respond within 8 hours. Now I'm going to respond within 3 hours. We usually do 1 30-minute consultation per month. Now I'm opening up slots and I'm going to do 2. Just little pieces like that, right? Set expectations, because you don't want your clients to expect too much, and you also don't want your clients to feel like you're not there for them. So that's relative to what you want to do as a coach, but set those expectations relative to that. On the exercise side, it's how important is the program right now? How important are the A, B's, and C's? For a lot of people, they're not very important. I'll tell you that right now, especially people with no resources, depending on what they're used to, what they were doing last week. Maybe moving blood, getting sun, reducing stress is way more beneficial than tough contractions and adaptation right now during this time. Maybe tough contractions and worrying about getting better 3 weeks from now is actually going to increase their stress and put them in a worse spot if this thing extends another week. So look at your exercise program. For most of your clients, program consistent wins for them, right? Like people are feeling bad about themselves. Some people are feeling bad about themselves. I can't go to the gym. I can't leave my house. I can't do this. I can't do that. Exercise should be consistent wins, right? And I'll go back to what James said is what James says on like, this is someone's ability. Where do we design training programs? I would argue, let's knock that down a little bit and just consistent wins for people, because people's rhythm is jacked up right now. They may not feel as good going into their backyard or working out in their living room. So let's not crush their souls over the next couple of weeks with the hardest body weight workouts you can imagine. So have some fun while giving them what they need, right? Like we still want our clients to enjoy fitness no matter how they're doing fitness. And again, I'll just go back to this is an opportunity, right? So maybe this is an opportunity for your clients to learn new calisthenic skills, Maybe this is an opportunity for your clients to get to 10 push-ups for the first time in their lives, little pieces like that. So look at it from that end instead of this thing just being a complete negative. On the nutrition side, let's focus on health and wellness. Is this a good time to build great nutrition habits for some of your clients? Or is this a bad time to build great nutrition habits for some of your clients? And what I mean by that is this a good time to prioritize nutrition if they have 100 other stressors going on in their lives and you're setting them up for failure with this awesome nutrition program that you want them to execute today? Just think about those things. This may not be the time to test stress-inducing protocols. This may not be the time to have your clients start fasting until 1 o'clock every day. This may not be the time to have a bipolar prescription for your client, i.e. we were doing this last week and now we're going to completely flip that upside down because your training volume is decreasing so much that now I'm going to give you 80% less carbohydrate or 80% less fat. And what I mean by that is just don't flip prescriptions upside down just because they're exercising at home today.
Carl, I think I know how you're going to answer this question, but what are your thoughts on doing quote unquote challenges, meaning let's do 100 burpees a day or whatever for however long this thing lasts?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one to answer. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that if that's what you're asking, for a certain kind of person, right? If that's something that is, within their ability level, it's something that's really fun for them. It's a conversation that you have with them and you tell them this is why we're doing that. Yeah, that seems awesome to me, right? But if you're saying, 100 burpees for every client on your roster, you have 30 clients and 15 of them can't do a push-up, maybe that's not such a great idea. But yeah, I think this could be a good time to do something like that to keep them engaged.
I like Henry's suggestions of a drink enough water challenge and then 8 hours of sleep challenge. I've got a quick question for you.
That's a real thing. That's a real thing. I have that challenge with my wife on a nightly basis. Who gets more sleep?
So guys, keep popping your questions in the Q&A box so that we can get to them. And please do make sure you're set to all panelists and attendees. Carl, I have a quick question for you because there are a lot of people that are going to be dealing with some pretty stressful stuff right now, might be feeling isolated, down. And if you have a relationship with them, they're likely going to let it out to you, their coach. What would you do if you feel like you have a client that's in a situation that you can't meet their needs there, their emotional needs?
Oh man, I would be honest with them, right? I would be honest with them and I would tell them I couldn't meet those needs, but I would have an answer for them as to where they should go to get that. And yeah, I think that goes back to the scope conversation. And we are coaches, right? But that's not an excuse to not, have really good behavior, human behavior skills, let's call it, where we can communicate with our clients. But if we feel like something is outside of our scope of practice, our clients would really appreciate us telling them that that's not within our scope and using different language, obviously, but that's not within our scope. But this is a great resource that you can go to.
Thanks, Carl. Guys, please go ahead, pop some questions in there because we do have some minutes to be able to answer them. I do see some concern about grocery stores being empty and, nutrition not being perfect because of that. I don't know if you guys have any suggestions around that.
Suggestions, I mean, let's be realistic. If there's truly no food in the grocery store, you got to go online wherever you can get it. If nobody will deliver to you, you need to drive and find it. I know that that's blunt, but that's if that's truly where you are, that's what you got to do.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of challenges here in Arizona with online delivery services where, we're backed up right now. Last week it was 2 or 3 days. Now we're backed up 7 to 10 days on deliveries. with Instacart for Instant Prime and stuff like that from Whole Foods. So we're seeing that as well. Funny enough, I'm seeing a lot of these grocery stores are having like the fresher stuff is in stock around here, and all the box stuff and all of that is gone. We went to Costco the other day and all of their fresh chicken was out, and we just went and bought some frozen chicken breast, something we usually don't do, but we're like, yeah, I mean, it's chicken's chicken at this point, right?
Jorge does have a question here. How much do you think should be charged for services in this particular situation?
Can I jump in on that one?
Please.
So similar to Carl's answer, I think it does depend, but my goal as a gym owner, if I'm having people make any type of transition from an in-person experience to an online experience, is maintain the membership at the price that the membership is at. So if you're doing group training, yes, I get that you're going to switch the service, but you are going to have to spend a significant amount more time per person. And so if they're paying you group training, that most likely is lower than what they pay you for individual design. So they are getting a discount on the service that you're offering. But I like the idea of maintaining the price because they don't have to change anything, right? Like there's not another credit card swipe. There's not another contract. There's not another whatever. You just support them as best as possible and try to maintain that price point. Now, in the reality where some people start to ask for holds, etc., I would handle the objection as best as I possibly could from a sales standpoint with this client. And then I might be willing to drop a little bit because they're not in person. But remember, in my opinion, you have to you concede when they concede on this. Otherwise, you're going to spend an unbelievable amount of time working with people for basically no money. And the issue that I have with that is that you're not sure how long the lockdown is going to last. So if they're not paying you any money, you're potentially draining your bank account for something that could last 3 to 6 months. I understand completely wanting to keep morale high and wanting to keep people interested in coming back to your gym, but I would not lead with a price cut.
Yeah, just coming off the back of that, we have to practice what we preach right now as well, guys, right? We have clients, we understand that their health and well-being is very important, and we talk to them about how important that is, and how much they need a coach right now with our existing clients or even a client coming in. But let's take a step back and look at all of the local businesses around us, and those businesses find themselves in the same place, right? Where I had a conversation with Georgia the other morning on her continuing her BJJ membership, even though she's not going to go because she wants to support that gym, right? So think about those things as well. And this is a great opportunity for us in our individual communities to be leaders in that narrative, right? But we can't be leaders in that narrative if we're not actually practicing it. So it's a really powerful thing. And that's something that I've thought about a few times since Georgia told me that. And it made me take a step back and think about, oh, okay, that's a good point. Maybe I should Venmo my barber some cash, right? Maybe I should do this because they're closed. Little pieces like that. So I'm not telling you to like blow all your money and take care of the entire world, but just thinking about your circle and not always wanting people to take care of us, and let's spread that. Where can we help as well?
Yeah, Carl, I'm going to tell quickly your story about preschool because I think it's relevant here. If you guys own gyms or have a client base, do not send out an email that basically demands them to maintain their membership. Carl got that about his kids' preschool, and let's just say that Carl wasn't super excited to receive that email. So you can't force people to socially want to help others, right? Like I get this, everything's virtue signaling and the whole 9 yards right now, but as the gym owner, your goal right now is to show support. So you don't have to talk about money when you're talking to your clients. Most of them aren't initially going to think about canceling. Okay, there will be some, but most won't think initially about it. If you continue to support them, they'll want to continue to support you. If they can't physically do it, that's a different conversation. But otherwise, I think that, you know, you want to show support and project support and action support.
So 2 questions I'd like you guys to dig into. First one from Charles. He asks around ideas of how to start conversations around moving group folks into online one-to-one.
I'll initially think about that with the group. I wouldn't directly position it as one-to-one only. I would position it as we're going to do some personalization of your service. And if it's me, I am going to have some, let's call it community get together work on a daily basis. If that's 3 quote unquote classes a day and I turn video on and they turn video on and we do a 10-minute whatever, great if they want to sign up for that, because that's what they came to you for. And on top of that, you're going to personalize their experience. That's closer to the service, which in my interpretation, I'm saying what James and Carl are saying is that I'm not trying to change my entire business here. I'm trying to support my clients as closely to what they were getting as I can, which clearly is not in person. So the conversation is, what can you provide for them? Based on what you can provide for them, I would position that service offering as, here's how we're going to support you, whether this takes 2 weeks or 2 months, and I would allow that it's an open-ended question because we don't know how long it's going to be. If you say it's only going to be for 2 weeks and then it's 2 months, I think that people will respond somewhat negatively to that.
Oh, thanks, Jim. Lawrence had asked a question as well, and I don't know that we have the answer to this, but how much of a drop in clients can we expect?
That's a really tough question. George is right. We definitely don't know the answer to this. I would go back similar to what Carl was saying on the models. Okay, the farther away your existing service is from remote coaching, I believe the larger number of clients you would expect to churn out, because that's not what they're used to. That's not what they originally wanted. Maybe they think that it's expensive. I'm not sure, but I think the farther away, the more churn you will have. Secondarily, it, I think, is directly correlated to how long we're locked down. If we're locked, a lot of people, when I asked the question earlier, mentioned, hey, we're locked down till March 30th. I don't think that's it at all for this thing. That's just my opinion on it. I've got no data, but I think that this thing's going to last longer than that, like into the months. And if that's the case, then we need to smartly position that this thing might be more than just March 31st. So I think that if it goes longer, there's no way for us to stop some more people from leaving. But that's where hopefully you can have such a good service and talk to all of your clients about, hey, if you know anybody that needs some support right now, you don't have to position forever, right now, I'm happy to support them as well. Hopefully you can manage some of that churn with a couple of referrals here and there as we go through this for a few months.
Yeah, what I would ask following that, and this is, if you guys want to, plug a yes or no into the chat box, that'd be great. But a question that I have for you guys is, do you guys feel that you can actually give value online? Can you give all of your clients value online? So I see a bunch of yeses coming through. If we think that we can continue to give value online, I would take a more proactive approach than just waiting for clients to figure out if they want to stay with you or not. What is a proactive approach, right? You can shoot every one of your clients a video and you're explaining to them exactly what's happening, what you're doing, how you're adjusting your service to meet their needs, and how you're going to continue to add value to each and every one of your clients. You can email each one of your clients and set aside 15 or 30 minutes to have a consultation with each and every one of your clients, and do that on a one-to-one basis. If I have 5 clients, I'm definitely doing that. I'm setting up a consult with every one of my 5 clients. And I'm not doing it to just hold on to the money, right? I'm holding on to the value that I know that I can give my clients throughout this time. Because our clients may not understand that we can continue to give them value, especially if they're so used to coming to the gym at 1 o'clock every day, getting in a great workout, and having a monthly consultation with you, right? They're like, man, I work out 15 times a month and now that's gone. I think the value is now gone. So sometimes we have to tell our clients the value that we can still add for them. So I would just think about that.
Guys, if there are any last questions, please feel free to pop them in the chat box. Looks like, again, Shane is popping a question, ideas on pricing for some of these services. Any rough numbers you guys could throw out?
Just assume that because of the flooding of the market, but also the, let's say that you were going to charge $200 a month for individual design online. I think in this moment, I'm coming out at 150. Okay. Now, I don't think that that's what the value is. I think that this is DEFCON maybe 3, not maybe DEFCON 1, but that's DEFCON 3, right? You need a revenue stream at some amount of value. And also you're expecting to do this for the shorter run. So I think that is manageable. If you have an unbelievable presence online and you got 100,000 Instagram followers or whatever, the principles still remain. You can charge a little bit more. If you have no following, no network, you've got nothing in the pipeline, you are going to have to charge a little bit less because you don't have options. And I hate saying that, but that's the reality right now. Mike, your question on Loom or Zoom. Zoom is video, just like we're on right now. Loom allows you to take videos. You can send the videos. It's a cool thing too. They're just 2 separate products.
Cool. So guys, we will probably wrap it up there. Again, any last questions, feel free to pop them in. I am popping our contact info in the chat box again. So if you want to reach out there, please feel free to. The last thing I'm popping in there, and I did above as well, is a link to our YouTube channel. So it's all free education, and that's James on energy system training on the Assault bike. It's a new course that we have just released in partnership with Assault. So if you guys have some spare time and want to use it productively, that would probably be a good place to go. So guys, we'll be on tomorrow. Jim is going to be leading the conversation, and he's going to be really digging into the business side of things and, talking about business survival in a pandemic, because I think that's a concern for a lot of people right now. Thank you all for being on. You will be getting an email with a recap PDF and the link to the YouTube for the recording if you want to watch it again or share it with everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy, guys. Anything anyone else has to add?
Yeah, sorry. Can I just want to not answer, I think it was not answer Ben's question, but kind of add our thoughts to that. He asked, economic unknowns are hitting everyone. Do you aim to hold on to retaining clients that are struggling for when they get back on their feet? Absolutely, right? And it goes back to that empathetic piece, but also remember that you're a coach and you have to get paid for your services. I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong, but just understand that, right? Like there are very big companies that are, waiving fees and waiving, monthly payments and stuff like that. That is happening, right? And I think that's great to see. But if you're counting on your coaching revenue on a month-to-month basis, and you just put out there and you send a true coach blast and you say, hey guys, I'm really empathetic to what's going on right now. I want to coach everyone for free until we're all back on our feet. You're not taking care of yourself in that situation. So it's a balance, right? But the question is, should we focus on retaining clients? Absolutely. That should be our number one focus, because it's a lot cheaper to retain a client than it is to try to acquire a client, especially today. And by today, I mean like right now where we sit with this thing happening. Right. So yeah, absolutely. Like I would go above and beyond to retain our clients right now.
Great. Thanks for that one, Carl.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. We will see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Stay safe.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.